No, what I'm going to try to say is, like, when you can't breathe when you feel anxious, I have that breathing feeling right now.
Shortness of breath?
Yes, I have shortness of breath.
So why are you feeling anxious?
No, I'm not. I'm just getting the shortness of breath all of a sudden. All right, off you go.
I think maybe the gin and tonic's making your breath short.
I only had like 2 sips.
The B-side word.
Welcome back to the B-side word. I'm Devin and I'm here with Emma.
Well, hello there.
I'm here with CJ.
Hello there.
And I'm here with Alexander.
Ahoy.
That was a creepy ahoy.
This is B-side word up late.
I was watching the Nappy Boy podcast with T-Pain. T-Pain's Nappy Boy.
Can we just say that we love T-Pain, especially since
Nappy Boy Radio, yeah.
Watching that This Is Pop Netflix show.
We love him,
episode.
or we felt sorry for him and that made us love him more?
Yeah, that's the one.
Why did you guys feel sorry for him?
Watch the episode. His episode.
Yeah,
This Is
Pop. This is Pop. It's pretty interesting. You'd be
Yep.
interested in that.
Yeah.
But I was watching his Nappy Boy Radio podcast, and Hannibal Buress, the comedian, was on there, and he started talking about his childhood, which made me nostalgic. I play a bit
Dominic's
of
doesn't
his
exist
podcast.
anymore. Jules still does, and then there was one that was called Moo and Oink. You heard of Moo and Oink?
No, never. You are
At all.
making
Is that
these
like-
names
Is
up.
Moo and oink.
Is that
Moo
like
and Oink.
Moo and Oink.
If you can pull up the Moo and Oink jingle, because they used to have these.
They had a jingle?
They had a jingle, and
They
had
have to
these.
with that
it was.
name.
It was.
I want
They
it
had
now.
these iconic Chicago commercials where.
I'm not sure they did. Oh, it was in Chicago, though.
Yeah, it was local for the time, and now I think the commercials went viral. They got this catchy this jingle. We got baby back ribs, roast beef.
You're not serious.
Let's go.
You
Nah,
just a
I'm
click away.
No, I'm not with that. I'm not with that. Is it this?
Oh, God. That might be it.
but-
Moo and
yeah.
oink on the
You might wanna do
soundtrack.
that too.
There's a dance. There's a dance.
No.
We got baby back ribs, roast beef, hot links, and more to give.
Cube steaks, hot dogs, real tips, ooh, pork chops, chicken wings, and chicken wings too. Give me a wave if you like catfish. Jump up if it's your favorite dish. Tommy likes ribs and chicken wings.
Tommy.
If you like you, let me hear you scream. Moo and oink, wave for catfish. Moo and oink, scream for ribs. Moo and oink.
Oh, no.
All right, so that was,
The devil is...
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that commercial, but then it started making me think about the commercials that me and CJ grew up in. Like there was, I was gonna ask CJ, do you remember that commercial 13, 13, 13, 13? There was this like wooden wall, and all you heard was 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. Do you remember that one?
No, I remember 94811111.
I remember that one too.
4811111.
I'll play that one.
4811111. Pizza Hut delivery.
But I wanted to play this one because this is the one that stuck in my head during my childhood. And I was like, as soon as I heard the Nappy Boy one, right? I was like, dude, the commercials back then were they put so much effort into these commercials. Anyways, just watch this one. This is, oh man, I hope this is the one. Hang on. Yeah. Can you see that? Boys?
Not yet. Not yet. I think it's coming. It's loading. Yeah, I can start singing now.
You ready?
Yep.
Oh my god. Oh
I
man.
don't remember that at all.
It brought back
What
so
was that
much
even
memories.
advertising?
Cash converters. It was this pawn shop. That's where all the, like, when you returned, like when you want to sell your secondhand goods and stuff, cash converters. Anyways, I was
kinda funny.
I was giggling to myself all the whole afternoon.
That's brilliant.
So when was that from? What year was that released?
I think it would have been early 90s. Early 90s, maybe late 80s. But yeah, I was just because when Hannibal Buress, he started talking and he knew the jingle and he goes, Chance the Rapper would know it, Kanye would know it, anyone from the Chicago area would know this jingle. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, it's the shit that shaped our childhood.
Yeah.
And like my humor, that's typically Aussie. That humor is typically Aussie. It's so good.
That was pretty good.
Anyways, I just wanted to see if you remembered any, if it sparked any childhood memories. Like Lube, was it Lubemobile? You were talking about Lubemobile, CJ? No,
No,
Pizza Hut.
Pizza Hut delivery.
Yeah,
The jingle.
yeah.
I remember that number like to this day.
481
I
double
don't
one.
remember any jingles from
Not-
back
not-
in the day.
Not jingles per se, but I do remember like the one that sticks out the most to me, besides the Cadbury's Gorilla,
Oh
Yes.
yes.
is a bird,
Oh yeah, bird. Why?
bird, wise, bird, wise,
That was a good one. That made it on the. That made it to the
Super Bowl, didn't it?
didn't
Yeah,
it, as well.
yeah. Oh, now you're talking about
then-
that. All right, I don't know if they had this in England, but there was this guy, and it was his turn to get the rounds of the thing. So one goes, 2 bourbons, 2 beers, and a Sprite, right? So he's remembering it. He's remembering. He's going to the counter. He gets bumped. He goes 2 bourbons, 2 beers, and a Sprite. He gets to the front of the counter, and this woman with big breasts has cougars at the front of her chest, and he goes, 5 cougars, thanks.
Oh yeah.
I remember that ad.
Just these ads. I don't know how much of the ads actually had influences on my life. A lot, apparently, because all my jokes are punchy like that.
Mad.
So there was, when you brought that up, that Nappy Boy
Yeah.
podcast, I thought you were gonna go to the throwback of the hip hop, because there's a clip that's been circulating of Hannibal Buress, like
Yeah.
doing old school
What was
hip hop. I'll send it to you. I've got it stashed away. You know,
for a
I think
rainy
I've got it
day?
stashed away.
Oh,
I believe I've got it
for a
stashed away.
rainy day.
I was wrong. It's called the Gruen transfer.
No, that's not the one we're talking about. There was
Yeah.
one before that. There was
That's the one
before
I'm
that.
talking about.
I know the one that CJ's talking about, the ads from around the world. They had the French one and the Spanish ones, and
Yeah.
I remember that one. I just don't know the name.
And you have the Australian one, which our rude one was the bull ants going up the girl's leg
Yeah,
into it was an underwear ad.
that's right.
By the way, shout out to
Oh, it
Hannibal
is.
Buress if you've
it's
not
actually-
watched his stand-ups. Funny guy.
Do you find him funny?
I think he's very funny.
I've got to give him another chance because when I watched him, I was not impressed.
Is he?
To me, he's like Michael Shea?
Michael Shea. Remember Shea?
Shay.
Do you know that? Anyway,
Shay.
yeah.
Which also, if you haven't, go watch Michael Shea's Hot Ones that came out this week. It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
Pretty funny guy.
okay.
Hold
Both
on,
of them are like
are they
they're very,
Are
very
they paying
dry.
us? Are they paying us?
Yes, Siege.
They're not advertising.
they're, they're very dry.
Yeah.
They make fun of themselves. I don't know. I like Hannibal Buress. I think he's funny, and people who I've recommended him to, who have then watched it, have also enjoyed him. So
Does he
watch
have his
maybe
own
one of his more
show?
recent stand-ups.
Yeah, I think I
I've
might
only
give
seen him in
another
Uncle
chance.
Drew.
Is he on the Nappy Boy radio or he has his own show?
I think he has his own show. I think he's just friends with T-Pain
Okay.
because he's been on a few times actually. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
hip hop. It started out in the park. Hip hop, you know how we do it. We get out on the block, start break dancing. We hanging out with our friends, shaking hands. We do the dance. Go to the ball and shoot some hoop.
Okay.
That's actually true, though, isn't it?
Oh man. Oh man. You know what? I've got to say, I love T-Pain. It seems like a ball of energy and like, cause like he has he goes during lockdown, he's loving it. He's loving it because he doesn't like people. Mm-hmm. He goes every time he's with big crowds, he has all this anxiety. But I think when you get him one-on-one, his personality comes out. He's willing just to let it all out. He can be himself, and he seems like I don't know. He seems enjoyable to be around. You know,
Aww.
like me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like me.
Well, we're a small group. Let's invite him on the show.
You know what got me about his Nappy Boy radio? He goes, when it first starts, he goes, "Welcome to Nappy Boy Radio. This podcast is sponsored by McDonald's." And I was like, what the hell? How big is this podcast? He's just like, straight up, McDonald's. I am sponsored by McDonald's. I'm like, wow. And he goes, "I don't need quarter pounders because I don't like them. I like cheeseburgers." So funny.
Wait, is it a
funny.
good thing that he's sponsored by
Cheeseburger.
McDonald's?
Hey?
Is it good that he's sponsored by McDonald's?
I mean, how often do you see a podcast sponsored by McDonald's? How often is McDonald's putting...
No. I'm hungry now.
I mean, you get...
So can you know how like McDonald's is like a franchisee, isn't it? So can you go to like your local McDonald's and be like, "Oh, we're sponsored by McDonald's on 4th and Grove,"
Yeah, maybe.
and
I don't-
just them?
No, I don't know. Can you?
I don't know.
I thought it'd have to go through head office.
We're sponsored by Sunny Hope.
What the hell? Don't say that shit.
All right, challenge.
All right.
Get a local business in your area to sponsor one show.
Oh, just
jeez.
one?
I reckon if you went to a local business, you could get at least one to sponsor
Gosh.
because they don't know.
Well,
We have a podcast. People from all over the world listen to it. Doesn't matter that it's 3 people from all over the world.
hey. We had a 6,000 one last week.
6,001? Huh? Oh yeah, we did. We had a we had a clip that had 6,000 views. That's not even viral, but that's huge. Oh, can I tell you? All right, since that 6,000 views, right? I've gone through a roller coaster of emotions. So when it first started, when we first started picking up traction from this watching, like getting all these views, right? I was like, oh, how sick is this? This is the moment. Like, you know, we're gonna kick off, and then it started going up. I'm like, oh, I'm getting nervous. People are gonna actually see us. This is too much. This is too much. I don't want anyone to see our videos. I don't want to see this. It was all these emotions coming through, and then it kept going up. I'm going, oh wow. Wow, wow. I was so excited. And then our subs started to go up as well. And I was like, dude, we picked up 20 odd subscribers in one day. What the hell's going on? This is it's too much success, right? I get when people are overnight success and they just don't this is just such a miniature version. But when people all of a sudden get tens of millions of people watching them, and then they get all these sponsorships, and it's a lot of pressure. I felt all this pressure on me. I'm like, oh, we've got to up the game. We've got to up the game. We've got to up the production. We've got to, we can't let our fans down. That's what I'm thinking. It's like only an extra 20 people or something. Wait, and then I had the hard reality of whatever goes up must come down. Because when our viewership started to fall away, I was like, I gotta, lucky the people around me. I know the true people that love me. They're still
were there
around
from
me.
the beginning.
They're from the beginning. They're from the beginning.
My wife knew me before I was famous.
Yeah. I gotta stick with her because, like, when it was going good, she was there. So when it goes bad, I know she's a ride or die. This is in a span of a week.
That's such a roller coaster of emotions.
It was.
Mate, I'm willing to take a Zinger Burger as a sponsorship deal. Just give me a free burger as a sponsorship, and I'm happy.
Oh goodness.
By the way, talking of all Maccas and stuff, you guys made me hungry. I'm not hungry.
I've been eating a lot today.
I think it's the COVID thing, man. All you can do is stay home and eat.
I mean, you don't have to eat. You stay home and you can do other stuff.
Like what?
Not eat.
Because I eat for number one, boredom, and I also emotional eat too. I eat for those two reasons. It's just so good.
The hell are you guys talking about? So TikTok. I wanted to talk about how powerful TikTok is, or is going to be, or is gaining traction. Have you heard of TikTok Resume?
No.
No.
So TikTok Resume. So people put their resumes on there. I think they're challenging LinkedIn.
What?
I think,
Wait.
and it's the young, like the specific age group. Like TikTok is a specific age group.
So my initial question on that is, are they hiring each other? Like, who has hiring power is on TikTok?
I'm not
looking for people.
Actually, I'm not sure if we can research a bit about this TikTok Resume. But the podcast I was watching, which caught my attention, was like the power of the talk. That's what they said, and I was like, the power of the talk. I go, what? Did you say talk? So that's why it caught my attention. Which is pretty cool, eh? You go, imagine that as a headline. You go, the power of the talk. And you go, what? Yes, CJ.
Emma, it's called the Smokehouse Whopper.
Nice.
They do a double and they do a triple.
So, well, that sounds delicious. So, it says TikTok resumes. I don't know why I say resume. I never say it like that. Resume.
Yeah.
As a pilot program designed to continue expanding and enhancing TikTok as a new channel for recruitment and job discovery. They're teaming up with select companies and inviting job seekers to apply for entry level to experienced positions. With some of the world's sought after employers, including Chipotle.
I like that name. Chipotle.
Target.
That's cool.
WWE, Aloe Yoga, Shopify, Cantra, Movers and Shakers, and many more. So they upload a creative and an authentic showcase that showcases their skill sets and experiences. That's kind of cool.
I mean, LinkedIn is for businesses though. LinkedIn is for corporate business, right? Or is it for everyone? Can everyone use LinkedIn?
It's for everyone.
Do creators?
It's for everyone.
Do creators put
creatives get a lot of work through
LinkedIn, right?
LinkedIn.
Right.
I'm just thinking about the businesses that they're saying, and then you upload a showcase. So like, I'm applying for Target. So what do? Just like upload a video of them packing bags really fast or something.
Swiping thingamajiggy.
I like it. I think that's kind of cool. Why not?
I think it's interesting. The biggest thing that I've taken away from TikTok is TikTok was it's the first social media that's come out since the beginning of social media that's made me realize this is going to continue happening. Like I thought that we were going to be in a position like with MySpace, and then Facebook came in. And then like, you know, you had Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, but all these ones that have just become powerhouses. I thought it was going to be the situation where there were the initial ones, but they were too early, and then you have the ones that come a bit later that have sort of observed and then nailed the formula. Now they're the ones that are going to stick. Like Facebook's just going to be there.
Yeah.
I think there's always just going to be new. Like every few years, there's going to be a new one that comes out.
Yeah.
With something slightly different that's just going to take storm.
Yeah.
And I think you can look back to see what's coming in terms of Facebook is the new MySpace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TikTok is the new Vine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there are ones that were just too early. So one that semi blew up, maybe because of the pandemic, but was Clubhouse. Was that
Never heard of
audio
it.
only one?
Mm.
So Clubhouse was big in America, and it's basically one where it's just audio only. People, they're rooms, so like we could go in, we could do our podcast live on there, and then people could just join in and listen.
Oh.
And then if we wanted, we could allow them to speak. I never went on it. I know that a lot. It got like millions and millions of people on it during last year.
Yeah.
And now Twitter has Spaces, which is essentially the same thing.
What?
But it just makes me wonder,
Twitter
is
has
there going to be this
Spaces?
audio only? Yeah, Twitter has Spaces, which is the same thing. So you can create a space on Twitter,
Yeah.
and then people can tune it, like jump in, and they can listen to whatever you're talking about, and then you can invite them to talk if you want.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Me either.
I'm like
So-
behind
Haven't
with the
heard of it
times.
Like, I wonder, will there be an audio-only social media that does it right in the right timing in like a year or two? now?
Yeah.
Because-
You don't think the audio has been... You don't think the audio space has been conquered yet?
Maybe
I
it
don't
was
think
the,
it has.
the first
And-
edition that, yeah.
Yeah, live audio, I should say, because obviously podcasts and everything, but that live in-moment audio.
Yeah.
Because it will never be like Spaces on Twitter. It's just a feature on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's not dedicated to that market, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But TikTok's just made me realise that there's always going to be something new.
Yeah.
Which just sounds stupid to not think that, but social media kind of seems like one of those monoliths. Once it's got an audience, it's got an audience. But you look at Facebook now, I know Facebook still has crazy numbers and engagement and stuff, but how many people do you personally know that still use Facebook anywhere near as much as they used to, if at all?
I've just thought of one,
What?
which maybe we could do.
What?
So it's a live auction for people to sell their stuff. So let's say someone wants to sell their jacket that they no longer wear. Everyone, like whoever wants to tune in, tunes in, and it's a live bidding. And then whoever wins, that's who the buyer is.
Huh.
eBay?
No, live. So you on video. So you can, so the seller's there on video live with their phone, whatever, showing and then you have people like popping up, like however you want to do it, but they put their hand up to say they want to bid, and then it goes to the highest bidder, and then it's like, cool. Then that person stays on and they DM the details of where to send it, whatever, how to send the money.
Um.
I've just thought of a whole new business idea, a new app.
Alexander, you have to create it.
Yeah.
But I think that's why eBay was created, because not everyone can be in a certain spot at a certain
Doesn't
time.
matter, because if there's millions of enough people, yeah. Because you have your online ones like on Facebook where like you buy, sell, share. What was I saying?
Buy, share.
Buy, sell, share ones that I'm on, and it's like the first in. Not everyone's there all the time, but there's plenty of people that are. You're not selling like massive stuff, like you can.
We could become the new Amazon,
but a live version of it.
and then we could make a rocket that looks like a penis.
And you
Go
can
to
sell
space.
anything if you want.
Yes. This has been one of my
like
favourite
it.
things of the week.
Yeah.
Is the Dr. Evil penis rocket.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Amazon, Jeff Bezos.
Haven't you seen the penis rocket?
Jeff Bezos?
So,
rocket?
okay,
And he looks
let's-
like Dr. Evil.
I know he went into.
Let's go back.
I don't-
And
Do
his
you
brother
remember
was Mini-Me.
Do you remember Austin Powers, Emma? Do you remember when Dr. Evil launched his rocket and it was a big penis with balls?
Vaguely.
And they did like the cutaways between people, like, oh my god, look at those big, and then someone holding tennis balls were like big hairy balls, and like it was like a sequence of those, and it was the joke that Dr. Evil had this penis rocket, and then Jeff Bezos,
Makes it.
a fairly good lookalike for Dr. Evil, if we're being totally honest, flew to what is it, suborbital space
I knew he went
or
into
whatever.
suborbital space, but I didn't know it was on one of those rockets.
Yeah, his rocket looked like a penis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Someone
And it's
said
just
the Amazon
hilarious.
Amazon logo looks like a penis. The arrow.
Interesting.
Well, the arrow's an A to Z, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're
Yeah.
saying the actual arrow looks like a penis. Like, anyways, that's the connection she made. It's not my idea. I don't care. don't label that with me.
The penis rocket.
Someone also said that they were very inspired for billionaires to do whatever they want. That was one of the comments. Do you think it's inspirational that you have billionaires?
Well, did they have that much dispendable income they can actually create a rocket
Yeah.
to try to fly into space?
No.
With all that money, maybe they should be trying to do something else.
So
like human race.
CJ's on the side of not impressed. So Alexander, are you impressed or
No.
no?
In no way am I impressed.
Alexander is also on
They
the.
could have tried to cure world hunger instead of the billions they put into
Yeah, I
the
think
millions they put into the
inspirational-
rockets. Help the disadvantaged would have been a better thing to do with the money.
So I want to take the angle of, even if you took it in the way of, if we keep developing these rocket systems and these abilities, we're going to be able to help humanity in the future when we need to be interplanetary and all this kind of stuff. Great, we have to make it that far first.
Yeah.
Like, we have to survive long enough for that to be a problem.
Yeah.
We've got current problems we need to overcome.
Yeah, we can't even leave our houses.
Like, do you know about the moon wobble? It's
Yes.
about to just ruin our lives
Yeah.
in 10 years.
Mate, since COVID, I got a belly wobble. That's what I got.
What's the moon wobble about?
So the moon wobble is this, it happens on a circular timeline where the moon, because you know the moon orbits, but it doesn't orbit in an exact circle around us. Like, it's sometimes further away, sometimes closer. Well, apparently at some point during its cycle of figuring out where it is in relation to us, it goes through a wobble where it doesn't stay on its trajectory exactly. It sort of wobbles back and forth.
Yeah.
So what impacts, and they reckon this is going to happen between 2030 and 2040 for a good, what is it, Emma, like 10, 15 years it's going to happen for like a period of time. So this wobble, what the impact will be is initially, because you know the tides, water, the gravity of water is impacted by the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So initially the high tides will get lower and the low tides will get higher, which won't be the biggest detrimental impact. It will affect us, especially like shipping and things like that, being able to get to where they need to and all that. Like, but that's not the disaster part. The disaster part is after that happens, then the high tides will get higher than normal and the low tides will get lower than normal. So lots of flooding.
Because of climate change,
Lots of
the
droughts.
oceans are already rising as it is, so it's going to make it even worse than what it would have been.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the key, because even though this has happened historically, there hasn't been the climate change effect, so the water levels have been pretty consistent when it's not consistent through this phase, but consistent during this phase. But because, as Emma said, because of climate change, ice caps have melted, there's more water in the ocean in general.
They did
So
put out
like
a
a
number.
high tide is even more impactful.
They put out a number of how many floods they predict. I can't remember what it was. I'll try and find out, but yeah, there's a lot.
And what is it called? The moon wobble.
The moon wobble.
Huh.
It's a new Soldier Boy song.
That's interesting. The moon wobble.
So yeah, things like that, knowing that's going to come, I'd rather they try and tackle things around like infrastructure that could help with that, or, you know, feeding people or housing people, or just doing anything. Like, they could have housed a few million homeless people and still flown a rocket to space.
Yeah, right, yeah. Because they actually, I forget who actually brought that up, but there was this delivering device, right? And I think it was for food. It's a robotic, and like, so he was going on the footpath. He was driving on the footpath, and there was a homeless man in the way. So the robot went around the homeless man and kept going on its way to deliver the food. And the person that was commenting on this video paused it and showed that there was a robot delivering food and a homeless person, and like the juxtaposition of that, of like having a homeless person, but we have the tech to be able to give food, like being able to get food from a restaurant to someone's house.
Yeah.
And there's still
Using a
homeless
robot.
people on the street, and they were like, isn't there something wrong with this? that we have the tech to bring food to someone's house and someone is homeless. Do you not see the problem here? And I was like, yeah, that's a bit of an issue, isn't it? How come there are people still in this day and age that are homeless? Unless that person chooses to be homeless, which is very rare.
Sometimes people that are homeless are suffering from like mental disabilities, and they just find it hard living in that kind of space.
But but the people that don't want to be homeless and can't like get out of that rut. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the answer
find
is.
the exact numbers, but it said this is something. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, the NOAA, reported a total.
Wait, can you do that again?
What?
The national what?
National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration.
And the abbreviation?
NOAA.
NOAA, okay.
Reported a total of more than 600 floods in 2019, right? Starting in the mid-2030s, the alignment of the rising sea levels with the lunar cycle will cause coastal cities all around the US, this is from NASA, to begin a decade of dramatic increases in flood numbers, according to the first study that takes into account all known oceanic and astronomical cause for floods. So that's talking about America, but I'm sure it's going to be a worldwide thing.
So going along the theme of
backtracking,
I guess climate and things of that nature. Did you ever hear the old conspiracy theories about weather machines?
Yes.
Weather machines?
They have weather machines that can make it rain.
Yeah, and it's true. Jeremy Clark went to one and they did it. Like they did an example of what it actually happens.
So talk us through what that looked like, because I'm
Jeremy
intrigued.
Clarkson, sorry. I can't remember the full ins and outs. You can probably find it and share it with us just on YouTube.
But I mean, do you remember what, like, when they made it rain? Was it like the whole area was just lit up with rain?
Yeah, it was like it was like a specific area where they were doing the testing, but it was basically showing that they weren't the only ones doing it. Like they were saying that this happens. This is a thing that happens because the
reason. Oh, go on.
Yeah, and then that was just at the time where people were talking about weather. What is it called? Like weather warfare? What was it called?
Weather warfare.
Chemical warfare.
Yeah,
So
because then there was a lot of
droughts and
massive incidents that were happening, and people.
Yeah,
like countries
can't you use it to stop droughts?
I think countries are still looking into it because that's like a massive, powerful weapon for them to use. Is if they can cause devastation in certain places, like no one can. What are you going to do against that?
Well,
but as the human race, shouldn't we try to fix areas that need water and things like that? Instead of trying to destroy something, can't we create something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should.
I've just sent a video through.
We should.
If you want to give it a watch,
please.
and we can talk a little bit more about it. So what we're watching is Dubai,
Holy shit.
Wow.
where they're having bouts
Floods.
of 50-degree Celsius weather.
Yeah.
Heat. Super dry, super hot. So they've been creating their own rain to combat this.
There you go.
But the way they've been doing it is slightly different to the weather machines of old. At least the described weather machines of old. They're using drones that fly through
Clouds.
and then they send electric currents through it, which causes, I think it's to ionize the particles and cause them to precipitate and rain.
That is awesome. That is insane
That is cool.
in the membrane.
Yeah.
Love it. I love
And
it.
if you like, it's pretty intense rain, isn't it?
Yes.
I agree. I love it, but we're trying
Only
to...
for good. Only for good.
No, it's not that. It's like the ego of the human being to start altering Mother Nature, like to think we know better than what the Earth actually is telling us.
That's true.
But at the same time, if they need water, I don't know. It's a tough one. I tell you.
This is like getting breast implants for the world.
Wow.
Really? Are you comparing this to breast implants?
Yeah, like
In what way?
We're
Tell me.
messing with the natural. We're messing with the natural organism by putting something in which we think is better for it, when really we're just messing with the old chemistry cycle. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what the impacts of this will be in the future.
Yeah. Also, who's in control of it and what they can do with it is worrying, but it's kind of cool.
I don't know if that aligns with breast implants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
mean,
thinking, how does that align with breast
Oh, you're
implants?
talking
I
about
mean,
breast implants?
sometimes women use breast implants for evil, to woo potential
Sorry, I thought you were
suitors.
still talking about the rain. I was trying to find this Jeremy Clarkson
No,
video.
we were talking. I was just saying it's kind of like the breast implants for the world. Like it's the unnatural human intervention with what's going on.
Yeah.
Like as you were saying, Dev. Like I think this I apply to a lot of things now, and the more things I think about, the more I can apply it. It's just the human ego, the arrogance we have to think that we know what's best in a lot of situations. And we don't really concern ourselves with what effects is this actually going to have.
Yeah. I can only say yeah.
Well, now I agree with what you're saying. At first, I was like, that's damn cool. But now...
No, it's still damn cool.
It's cool.
It's still damn cool. It's just...
But then maybe all the rain causes weeds to grow that weren't supposed to grow, and then there's all these insects are there, and then they're coming from places where other animals were eating those. Now those other animals are going to starve and die because their food source has gone where the rain is.
You change the ecosystem, because now you're going to bring birds and you're going to bring birds and other animals to the area. I don't know, what's sea life because there's more water there. It changes the water, having, I don't know, less salt in the water. I don't know, but like the ecosystem changes.
Those clouds that rained there, would they have rained somewhere else? Now they're not going to rain.
Ooh.
Don't tell me we're going to start fighting over clouds. This is effed up if we start... you know what I mean? They got cloud catchers. I want to switch it up a bit. Switch it up because of the Olympics are around.
Yeah.
I want to talk about a few topics.
Yeah.
About the thing. I want to talk about this. Emma, can you read this out? When I bring it up. It's concerning the female athletes.
Mm.
Is this the volleyball?
The volleyball, and also, so we'll go with the volleyball first. Em, you want to read this?
A women's handball team wore shorts instead of skimpy bikini bottom uniforms. The league fined them over $1,700. Are you serious?
That's the one I meant. Sorry, not volleyball. The handball.
Wait, but their shorts are just like cycling shorts. They're not like...
They're pretty skimpy. They're pretty revealing.
Why would they be fined?
Okay, so...
I think...
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
That's a bit sexist.
It is a bit sexist.
So when the Norwegian women's beach handball team walked onto the court...
Beach handball?
To face Spain, the players chose not to wear the bikinis and wore basically form-fitting blue athletic shorts.
Right. So they had that was that point of view, right? And then this article came up.
Is this at the same Olympics?
I don't know if it's at the same. She's Paralympian.
Para-Olympian Olivia Breen
Oh, yes.
dismayed after being told sprint briefs are too short. Oh.
Yeah. So, what were you saying, Alexander?
No, I've seen both of these things I was going to bring to the table. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
That's wild.
One of my favorite quotes from this is, I'll just read this excerpt. when asked about the rationale behind the requirement that female players wear bikini bottoms, a spokeswoman for the International Handball Federation said, "We're looking into it." So they don't even have a reason for it.
No.
And
They've
yet they'll
gone
still
and
find
find
them.
them before having a reason. You cannot tell me it's because people want to watch the women. You know, that's why they tune in to watch the women in briefs, in bikini bottoms.
100% is why that was a rule. Like, not even, not
That
being
makes
facetious, not
my
joking. That
blood
100% is the exact. When they put that rule in place, went, more men will watch it if we make them wear these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you remember? I don't even know if it's still a thing. It might be lingerie football, American football.
I think it's still a thing.
Yeah, it's still a thing.
Still a
No,
thing.
it's not.
Yeah.
It is.
No, it's not.
It is still a thing.
There's lingerie basketball. I didn't even know. I don't know why it came. Like, I don't know. I think my friend showed me or sent me the link. I don't know how it.
I don't know how it got into my
I don't know. I
head.
started watching it, but
Isn't that what you showed me, Ernie?
Is that why you quickly put your phone away when I came
You said
in?
you found this online. You said you found this online, Sage, and have a look.
oh,
Really tall girls in lingerie.
Oh,
I was
it
like,
wasn't-
Damn, dude, how'd you see this?
it wasn't me.
You said you're a fan.
Wasn't you? Oh, you didn't send it to me. I sent it to you. So when I saw that, I was like, it's really like the lingerie basketball. They were wearing thongs. Some of these girls were wearing thongs. They
Where
weren't
do
even.
they play this?
I don't know how big it is. I don't know. I think they were just trying to. I don't know what they were doing actually, but yeah.
I think I've seen the same thing you're talking about. I think it was more of a proposition than an actual league that they created. And I think it was also used against the WNBA as like there were several people suggesting this is what they should do if they want more fans.
Oh, right. I don't think they should do that.
No.
It was
I don't understand.
It was a horrible game. I didn't watch the whole game though. Anyways, back to these athletes. What do you think about a Paralympian, Olivia Bryn, being told to like the shorts are too short, and then it's
just all disgraceful. I don't understand. The
one with the too short, I looked at as a headline and intrigue because of this Handball one that came out at the same time. The one with the Paralympian, again, I'm not actually sure when this story broke because it's not the Paralympics right now. I don't know if she's a Paralympian and they were just defining her as that, but she was at another event or whatever.
Yeah.
But I will say, if they ever want to put in rules of there is something that's too revealing, I'm more okay with that. In the sense of there has to be limits when it comes to like someone can't show up naked. You know what I mean? Like there has to be limits, and you have to define that. So at some point, something would be too revealing. I'm not saying hers works. I haven't seen hers. I don't know.
100%. It's just
the other way around.
Yeah, it's how can you say on one hand this and then on the other hand this? Like, I don't understand. Yeah. Go figure.
Like, it's just what benefit does it have to anyone if the athletes? I mean, do you know what's interesting as well? I didn't look. Did they win?
Who?
Don't know.
The girls.
The handball team. Because then they can even go, obviously it doesn't affect performance either. Like, obviously we know this anyway, but just as more of a slap in the face of what they're doing.
Actually, no, I don't know if they won or not.
I'm not sure.
So taking a little bit of a turn on the Olympics. When you think of the Olympics, outside of the events and outside of, I guess, news for specifically this year, what other things do you hear about the Olympics?
The bed. That's what I've heard about. The bed. Not these Olympics in general.
You hear about the accommodation.
Always hear about the accommodation.
Yeah.
I hear about the trainers touching up the little kids.
Yeah, do you remember that girl with her dad?
I didn't hear about that.
The girl with the dad, and then the girl refused to go back, and she like slept on the sofa out like in the common area, and then refused. That was really sad, actually.
I wasn't planning to go to dark places, but
okay, yeah.
But you said what you hear about. So I was like, I've heard many times like gymnastic coaches, swimming coaches, and all that have done really bad things.
Let's think more positive. So,
okay.
So accommodation, something related to accommodation. Do you know some?
Are
do
you
you know
talking about the
something?
Irish guy on the sex bed?
What?
Well, have you heard about? Do you hear about what they give the athletes normally at the Olympic Village
Oh, condoms.
when they
No.
arrive?
Condoms.
Yeah.
Lots and lots of
Lots,
condoms
lots.
because it's a big thing, right? You know,
Yeah.
athletes
Didn't
when they
know
get to
that.
the Olympics, they all have a lot of sex. Those
Yes.
athletes.
They love.
I did not know this.
They let it all out.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is a
think that would
talking
be
point like
distracting.
every Olympics. So this year, as Dev's mentioned, beds. There's been this controversy that's flooded social media about these beds that they've been given. The athletes have been given. They've been given cardboard beds,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
and it's been said that they've been given these beds to stop them from having lots of sex, probably so that they're not intermingling a lot because of COVID and all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. But yeah, these cardboard beds to prevent sex. So I've sent a clip which I think's.
Wait. So that they have. This is what
Don't
they're
worry, we're not
sleeping
about to
on?
watch them try and have sex on a cardboard bed, but
As in,
Is it the Irish bloke?
what? So they have to sleep on cardboard? Well, how are they going to perform well?
No, it's not. It's not just.
In today's episode of Fake News at the Olympic Games, the beds are meant to be anti-sex. They're made out of cardboard, yes, but apparently they're meant to break at any sudden movements. It's fake news.
Ah.
so it's been dispelled. They are cardboard beds, but as you can see, very sturdy and making me ask a lot of questions as to.
But the thing is this, right? If I did that to the bed, it would collapse.
But you're not an
I think if you
athlete
did that
at
to
the
any
Olympics.
bed, mate.
The fact that he's a toothpick probably helps is in his advantage.
That's sturdy cardboard.
It's just not cardboard. There's another one that shows what the actual what the beds are made of, and it's recycled plastic. This girl says it a bit says it a bit clearer.
Yes, the beds are really cardboard,
Oh.
but it's really hard cardboard, so it's not going to break. You can customize the mattress, have it as hard or soft as you want. We were also given mattress toppers to make it even more comfortable. And for the taller athletes, there are bed extenders. And it's not because they're trying to stop people having sex, it's because they're making it a more environmentally friendly Olympics. We love them.
That's actually really
Yeah.
cool. That's cool.
Hmm.
I get it now. I get why they're so sturdy. Well, I was thinking that the cardboard was just like a flat piece of cardboard, so I was like,
What,
that's-
like homeless?
That's what?
Like the homeless.
like just an unfolded box that they're laid on the floor.
Like when you get a puppy, a new puppy, and then you put like the cardboard on the floor, and then you put like a blanket on top.
Then it's head up to
Righto.
Coles, get a empty
Right, there
box.
you are. There you go.
Yes, but no. Like, I thought it was like that, but raised up. So then when he was jumping on it, I was like, how is he not going through? But now I see because it's done like
Oh, I
that.
see, says the blind man.
What's the rest of that sentence? Because there is another half, and I always forget what it is.
I see, said the blind, man in
to
the
the
dark
what?
room, looking for the black cat that wasn't really there.
There you go. Yeah.
I just know the first one.
So there is one last Tokyo story that I have.
Drift.
Drift.
Is the family coming back?
We're on the same wavelength.
Yes.
Fast and the Furious.
It's not F is for family, unfortunately. This is around. So remember we talked maybe a couple weeks back about Shikari,
No, who's Shikari?
the sprinter.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
With the colourful hair.
Correct. So I saw this last night. So this is pretty recent. Forbes have published this article, and now like a snippet of it has gone on, like a picture of it has gone on Instagram or something, and now it's flooding the works of the socials. And it's this discussion where the headline reads, and I'll send you guys the article. Oh, I'll just send it to you quickly. Where is our chat?
When you said Shikari, I was thinking of Shakira.
I know. Okay, came in my head as well.
Shakira.
So this-
Shakira.
I thought he mispronounced Shakira, and I was like, do we correct him?
So this article, the headline is, Cannabis takes the world stage at the Tokyo Olympics. For the first time in the Olympics' 125-year modern history, elite athletes are being open about their use of cannabis products to prepare them for the world's biggest stage in sports. Leading the charge is Olympic gold medalist and US soccer women's national team star Megan Rapinoe, who incorporates CBD into her training routine using products from Mendy, a company founded by her sister Rachel Rapinoe and Brett Schwager. Mendy's founders started the company to create a brand of hemp-derived cannabis oil, products that provide athletes with natural wellness solutions to help them recover better and perform at their best. And while Mendy has assembled a team of top athletes as brand ambassadors, the company hopes to tap into a market of consumers looking for a more natural approach to health and wellness.
So then why did that girl get suspended, not like eliminated, whatever?
No, but they're probably taking out the THT, is it? That gets you high?
It's hemp products, yeah.
This is basically the conversation, and I'll send you the tweet that I saw that's doing the rounds of viral and how people are seeing this, because the picture as well is quite relevant. I'll send this in WhatsApp for you. So it's the picture that is in the article, but when you in the scope of this tweet, how it's been posted on Instagram and everything. So I guess the thing that people that's really causing the conversation is, like you guys said, the removal of the THC. People are saying, but the THC, if anything, is the part that hinders your performance, whereas they're using the part of the plant that improves your performance.
Does THC take away from your performance?
Well, THC is the part.
Mellow you out?
It's the bit that gets you high.
Doesn't relaxing your muscles and getting you high somehow?
But the muscle relaxant will still be there.
That's what CBD does. CBD is the part that relaxes you and improves recovery.
So what does the THC do?
That's the I'm stoned.
No, I'm wondering because, like you said, the CBD does the muscle relaxing. I wonder if the THC does the brain relaxing. Because as much as an athlete needs their body to relax because of the mental stress, having THC, does it give you the mental relaxation you need?
They've got to be on point.
But
I
mean, you're not having the THC just before a game. I'm talking about after the game. After it's like when you're in your downtime.
Depends on who you are.
Yeah,
because some people get paranoid. Some people, as CJ said, just get really lethargic.
Yeah.
Some people just can't handle the high. Like, it's just different depending on who you are. But
yeah.
I think it's more around the idea that someone's been banned from the games for smoking the same drug that other athletes are promoting that they use specifically to enhance their performance.
Yeah, that's wrong.
When she was using it to grieve over her dead mother.
Oh, is that why?
So one athlete used something to grieve and it's been banned. Another athlete has used the same thing to improve performance, and they're allowed to market that.
See, I don't know why it's banned for. Because it's a natural product, while you get other products which are enhanced to actually improve your performance.
Well, the conversation has.
We're thinking about what you're saying, CJ. You're saying something provocative. Let us think, mate.
Sorry. Everyone was still. I can't see Alexander, and you two were still. I thought I was frozen and talking to myself.
He's so not used to people listening to him. He's just like, no smart ass comments. What the?
Hello, anyone still there?
What was that, Alexander?
Right or wrong, the conversation is heavily stemmed around something that Emma mentioned at the very beginning when I said Shikari. And this picture being part of that is the fact that you have this black woman with this colourful hair, these long nails, the one being banned, and then these white women saying, hey, we use it, we want everyone to buy our products of it, and it's okay. So that's been like the way that people
are they looking
receive
into it though?
is different.
Is the Olympics committee looking into it?
I've not seen anything related to the actual committee itself. But the fact that they've posted this quite confidently makes me suggest that there's going to be no repercussions for them.
That's wild. If you were Shikari, you'd be sitting at home like, ugh. You'd be fuming.
You would be fuming. You would be fuming. You'd be in jail.
Especially that she probably would have won or would have, you know.
She would have come away with gold, 100%. Oh well, not 100%, but there's a high possibility that she was gonna come away with the gold.
But what part of the plant is actually banned?
THC in it.
The whole.
Well, apparently THC.
Because she's using the CBD.
If she was using smoking it and had THC, then that's the actual, like, you know, unfortunate as it may sound, is the rule. What other part of the plant isn't banned, which is a bit weird.
Yeah,
because I expect the whole thing to be banned.
Well, that's the conversation. The conversation's not about, like, did she break the rules and should she be punished? Like, if you want to go down that line, fine. But why is the rule punishing her when it's not punishing others when they're using it more specifically for enhancement of their performance?
I don't even know why it's banned. It's a natural painkiller. It could help you recover, and it's natural.
It's just the rules.
At least these people aren't like injecting testosterone or anything like that. That's understandable. That's banned. But this, you can grow it in your backyard.
What is CBD? What is CBD?
Cannabinoid. Cannabidiol.
It sounds like that song. No.
No. Shakira.
I always knew it was cannabinoids, but this says cannabidiol.
I don't know what to think about that, but like, how does that? What did you say the CBD does to the body?
So it helps with relaxing the muscles to help for better recovery.
Like it will help with inflammation, doesn't it?
Sorry?
Yeah, helps with inflammation.
You help with inflammation, yeah. See, they're giving a lot of these athletes like painkillers and things like that, when this is actually a more natural therapy for them. But they've banned it on a lot of sports.
Oh,
probably because they can't make that much money out of it.
So you're telling me the THC, because I think I remember someone talking about the THC about this conversation as well. But so she is having, she had a joint because she was grieving from her mother, but she was having a drug that actually is at a disadvantage to her because she had it.
If anything, yeah.
Yeah.
If anything.
Like, how often do you hear the combination of stoners and elite athlete?
Never. Hardly ever. Besides the Morris brothers.
Like, what's when I say to you the word stoner, what do you think? What image does that conjure up?
The dome. Biodome.
A guy of long hair eating donuts.
Do you remember Biodome? Paulie Shaw?
No.
I remember Biodome. Dude, where's my car?
Yeah. I remember where's my car.
Pineapple. What's that?
Express. Yeah, I remember Pineapple Express.
Harold and Kumar. Harold and Kumar.
This
White
this
Castle
image.
Burger.
You don't associate smoking marijuana with being
at the
elite athlete.
No.
Because the effects it has typically aren't associated with improving performance. But CBD specifically it's not just athletes, but it's promoted as a wellness product that helps people.
Well, the NFL no longer suspends players for weed. It no longer tests them through the off season either. But it did say all parts
It's more of a natural therapy than the painkillers.
all parts of cannabis is banned other than the THC. Sorry, is banned other than CBD. Sorry.
Well, what other strains do you get out of weed beside the CBD and the THC? Why are the other ones illegal? What do they do? If you got the THC that makes you hallucinate, and you got the CBD that makes your muscles. Well, what does it do then?
Chills you out.
It chills you out.
It does impact your mental chemistry. You don't hallucinate.
Yeah. Oh, well, it impacts your mental, whatever, right? Your mental. And then you got the CBD that relaxes your muscles. Is there other strains? Is there other things, chemicals that are in the weed, that can? There
would have to be.
I mean, there's so many benefits. I don't even think we've hit the.
They make an oil which helps with pain.
All right.
I was actually considering getting it.
That's illegal here in Australia. The oil.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
So 5 potent cannabinoids.
Like 20.
Oh, it is cannabinoids. 5 potent cannabinoids in marijuana besides THC. Marijuana is no longer all about THC. Oh gosh, cannabis connoisseurs. Anyway, so cannabinoids are chemicals produced in the marijuana flower. They act on central nervous system by imitating endocannabinoids, molecules which occur naturally in the human body. So you've got cannabidiol, cannabidiol, which is CBD. And that is the current poster child for medicinal marijuana. It's rapidly becoming as well known as THC. It has powerful physical effects, and to the fact that it is the second most common cannabinoid. So it's cannabinoids, but CBD is cannabidiol. Does that make sense?
Also, THC is a cannabinoid as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So then it says, is CBD psychoactive? No, not even a bit. That's the big appeal. It's the medicinal effects without the high. CBD even reduces the effects of THC. Okay. Then the next one is cannabigerol, CBG. It says we have CBG to thank for all the delightful and medicinal effects of marijuana. It's essentially the stem cell of all cannabinoids. It is the precursor to THC, CBD, and CBC, and the rest.
Wow. What is
that? Is that psychoactive? No, you can't get stoned on CBG alone. It can become THC and THCV. However, it can become those two things, the two molecules that will get you high. Don't know how that happens. Anyway, but that basically inhibits the uptake of a chemical called GABA in the brain. And this results in muscle relaxation and anti-anxiety. Then you have cannabichromine, CBC. That's present in most strains in small amounts. It has medicinal effects similar to CBD, but is 10 times as effective at treating anxiety and stress.
What was that one?
CBC. It's present it lingers in your bloodstream for a longer time. And it has a long-lasting effect. It's not psychoactive. It's more effective it is a more effective anti-inflammatory agent than the potent drug phenylbutazone. Don't know what that is.
I wonder if is that the one that comes in oil form? Anyway, keep going.
And it's also antibacterial and antifungal. And it slows tumor growth, stimulates bone growth, and eases headaches.
Wow.
And it deserves a lot of credit for the medicinal benefits of marijuana. Apparently it promotes brain growth, unlike alcohol, cocaine, opiates, and other recreational drugs which suppress neurogenesis. This one boosts it.
Oh.
And then you have cannabinol, which is CBN.
I feel like I found my calling.
So when THC meets oxygen...
We should become weed connoisseurs.
Yeah, I want to grow brain cells. I want to see if it works. So I'll have to try this for a number of...
Do you remember what that was
months.
even called? CBC.
I'll try them until I find it.
Okay, then you have CBN.
We will after we smoke it.
When THC meets oxygen, you get CBN. So it says, have you ever smoked really old weed or some that was poorly cured? If so, then you're already familiar with the tranquilizing effects of this cannabinoid. It's not psychoactive, well, not really, but makes you feel a little high and sleepy. It's a powerful sedative, basically.
Wow.
It can treat insomnia and nerve pain and has promise for glaucoma patients. And then the last one is tetrahydrocannabivarin, THCV. It's similar to THC. In fact, the molecules are nearly identical, though the ways that they're synthesized in the plant are distinct and lead to some pretty important differences. It is psychoactive, perhaps more so than THC. It produces a clear euphoric high and is often described as a psychedelic. THCV is being investigated as an anti-obesity drug, unlike THC, which induces the munchies. So THC induces the munchies and this one suppresses it.
I need the suppression one.
So
and the pain one.
When you couple
and the anxiety one.
So it says when you couple the words bright, cerebral, energetic, creative, or euphoric with high, do any strains come to mind? You're right. African landrace, whatever. It's a THCV.
Oh wow. I mean,
Gosh, never
does
thought
that change
I'd
your
learn
mind
so much.
about? Does that change your mind about weed? How beneficial it is?
I have my mind has changed over the last couple of years. That's not to say I do you know what it is for me? I don't like smoking, the act of it. So that doesn't introduce me.
Cookie form.
Cookie form.
I wouldn't want to do the ones where you get high, but like maybe the other
ones that we just discussed.
The CBC one or for pain or something. Yeah.
Anti-inflammatory ones.
Imagine all the stuff that it gives you relief from all the.
So I remember when you were going through chemo, you said, "Oh, maybe I should do weed," because we'd heard something about the benefits.
Yeah,
of it.
That's right.
I actually heard something that
it's probably
helps.
CJ that recommended it.
Yes.
And I said,
CJ came over with a few plants and a few sticks. I was like, "Hey, bro, wait, we've got to ask Emma first."
Yeah, and I was like, "Hell no."
I'm like, she'll be alright. Like
because I was just imagining him sat there stoned all day, like smoking, and I don't like smoking. Anyway, but now I think I would allow you. Not that it's my decision, but I would be more comfortable.
You allow me because you know my company. I'm not allowed.
But not the smoke, like in the oil or whatever, or a tablet or something. Yeah.
No, but it's meant to help. When you feel sick.
Yeah.
Nausea.
Nauseous. It's meant to help with the nausea.
Yeah.
Because through the chemo.
Can I tell you?
Chemo period.
They gave me 5 different medications for anti-nausea. None of them worked.
Dev suffered a lot.
None of them worked.
Yeah.
I had 5, right?
Yeah. You should have smoked a joint. Which I said to you. You should just smoke a joint.
I had them before.
Sorry, Emma.
Before I had the actual chemo, right? Which was like a 4.5, 5-hour session. I'd have the tablets, and I'm like, the first time I had it, I was like, oh, cool, I'm not gonna vomit because I've got all these anti-nausea shit. Anyways, I had the session. As soon as it finished, the last drip went into me.
No, it got to the point where Dev would start. But it got to the point where you'd start vomiting before the chemo was introduced.
That was just anxiety.
Well. Yeah, and that was a thing that she said, especially in a lot of the men. Like they have a name for it. Like it's quite common.
Yeah.
Like it's just the build up of like you're anticipating for the next week you're going to be out. It took you a week to recover from one session of chemo, and then you had 1 week fine, and then back to chemo.
Yeah.
I told you, bro. I'll buy you a bag. Roll them up.
But talking about weed, because we'll go back into the we'll talk about the benefits and whether it's
again. Sorry, Em.
Whether it's a good thing or not for athletes. But I wanted to just show this clip.
Hey, Gavin, you fucking homie. I want to show you my tomato trees. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Check here, bro. Not one fucking tomato. You come this side. Fuck all tomatoes. Let me go walk into the forest here. Let's have a look here. Check here, Gavin. Fuck, man. I'm in the forest, bro. Not one fucking tomato. Hey, I don't know what the fuck's going on here, man. Yes, and these tomato plants make me goof, Gavin. Try the other side of the forest here. Let's check here. Come this side. I don't know, Gavin. Something's not right here. You're like 3.5 meters high, bro. Not one fucking tomato.
Is he for real?
No, he's not. He's not.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
I was gonna say he hasn't got any muscle problems, and mentally he's fine. I'll be back in a sec.
So the benefits, like you said, the NFL have stopped they have stopped the testing for weed or cannabis. I think has the narrative changed?
Well, they've stopped the punishments.
Yeah, have they stopped? So I don't know what question. I'm trying to come up with a question here. The
Has
benefits.
the societal impression changed, like the societal viewpoint.
Is it time to change? Yeah, is it time to change? Like, because it was always the way I grew up. It was always presented as a gateway drug. It was always presented like.
I think for some people it still would be, but for a lot of people maybe it's not. So yeah.
I mean, if you use it for the benefits.
I'm only going from drug shows that I watch. For some reason, I'm fascinated by drug shows.
Yeah.
And quite a lot of them say I started off with just weed and then I went to
harder drug.
Yeah.
This is.
But maybe you have to have the addictive personality.
When you look at historically, when you look at even people like that who describe it, to call it a gateway drug, there has to be correlation. And there has to be a strong correlation, and there has to be cause and effect. And the thing is, like, people, like, no doubt, 100% there are people who do hard drugs who have smoked weed. Like, maybe that was the first drug they smoked. But they've probably also drank alcohol. They've probably also done lots of things. They've probably eaten cheese. Like, to call anything a gateway, like, there's nowhere near enough evidence to call it a gateway drug. And I think that's one of the, like, I think we've talked about this before, like, the type of person who would do heroin is going to do heroin. Like, they didn't smoke something and go, oh, maybe I should try heroin now. Like, it's not even remotely the same thing. It's a very different, like, to even go through the act of, like, whether, like, say, injecting heroin, like, you're in a completely different mental space.
Yeah.
And I think that idea is the type of thing that causes the society to not shift their impression about it. Like, for example, America obviously is shifting. There's several states that have it legally medically. There's several states that have it legally recreationally, all that kind of stuff. But like the UK, I don't think it'll be legal in the UK for a long time. However...
Just traditionalist?
It's, just the way... We're a much smaller country, so it's not like they can legalise it in areas. Like, it has to be nationally legal or not. In America, it's not nationally legal. So, in that sense. But even if America did do it, I think the thing over here, like, even though it's not in consideration of making it legal, it's still one of those things where, like, you walk around London, you can smell it all the time. And I think police don't really care unless you're the one selling it.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, and when I say selling it, I don't even think they care if you're just selling it to, like, people. They want, like, someone who's growing big batches to
the tomatoes.
Crack down on those. They want the tomato farmer.
Yeah, the tomato farmer.
Because
I actually grow tomatoes.
For them, I just don't like the way they see it. I'm not a police officer. I can't speak on behalf of them, but I just imagine they just don't see it as worth wasting their time.
Yeah.
On
Well, you
people
see
that
it
are
on
just
TV
smoking.
shows. They go, put it away. Now tell me who the boss of the whatever is, and I won't dub you in type thing.
So
who is your marijuana supplier?
Societally, it probably won't. In some areas, it probably won't be accepted for a long time. But as in the sport, with all the benefits that we heard, should it be applied as a recovery tool?
It probably will be, to be honest, and it's not that long, not that far away. The difficulty is you have many different countries in the Olympics, so that's maybe where, because obviously never got
That's
their
why
awards.
on an Olympic level, no, I don't think it'll be allowed. And the only reason I say that is because you'd be then given an advantage. If you allowed CBD, for example, you'd be given an advantage to those countries that are allowed to use CBD.
Yeah.
So
they have to
this
balance
girl,
that up.
So this girl, is she using it at the Olympics?
No, she's not got it there with her. She's talked about using it
before
in her because it's not allowed in Tokyo. Like it's not allowed in Japan.
Right.
But I think that's where the difficulty is from a Olympic standpoint is from a testing standpoint, I don't know, but I assume that Half-Life, it's very different because if you smoke THC, it's in your system.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas CBD, you put on your muscles, the Half-Life, like I don't know as to that it goes into your bloodstream or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know how they would measure if you've used it.
I don't know anything about this.
No, do I?
But it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Has anyone watched Lil Nas X's new video clip?
I've seen the clip of them in the shower at the jail.
Yeah.
That's all I've seen.
No.
They're all
I've
nude.
no context around it. I've
In
just
the
seen that.
thingy?
Me either.
Haven't seen it.
Well, what was that? Did you say they're all nude?
They're all nude, but it's all blurred out.
It's all men, by the way, to
Yeah,
give
it's
more
all men.
context.
I would have assumed it's all meant to be perfectly honest with you, but but nude.
Yeah, nude.
Like, if we had females nude in a film clip, or females, wouldn't they be like jumping up and down, going, "Oh, you can't do that"?
There's been
So
there's
all
been
men.
females nude in film clips.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that.
Yeah, is that allowed?
It's blurred out.
It's blurred out.
No, but like you know how over the years there's been like film clips like with women in it,
Yeah.
and they've like protested saying women are getting
That's
upset,
because-
like, oh, we shouldn't be looking at them as a sexual object. And now this dude's kind of doing the same thing, but like with men, isn't that like similar?
But he's a man
Kind of.
with men. Like the other one was men with scantily clad women. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And I think as well, CJ, to just remind you that Lil Nas X is a professional because he gets paid a lot of money, a professional troll. Like, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Mm.
Okay.
I think
he
he's
does this
just
to cause controversy.
They had there was this guy because it reminded me of this guy that I was watching, and he said that if we flip the script on the way society is now, right, and that we had women in power and we empowered them to be leaders, and we told the men to be weak people, how the world would change. Like if the men were subservient to the women. What are you doing?
Sorry, I was.
I think my favourite thing on that is the guy, I've forgotten his name, the white guy who used to report with Trevor Noah and used to go to the Trump rallies. And they were talking about, this was when Trump ran for president the first time.
Yeah.
And he was going up against Hillary, and the woman said, "We can't have a woman president. You know, they have once a month, they go crazy. Like, this is a woman saying this as well. Once a month they go crazy. Like, do you know how many wars?
Past that stage of her life?
Do you know how many wars they would start?" And the man goes, "But haven't all wars been started by men?"
I got because where was this? There was Senator Wong in Australia, and she said that she had a discussion with, I forget her name, but Senator Wong. Someone said to her that women are highly emotional, and her response was, "It's funny that you say that. Every conversations I've had with men, if they don't agree with a certain topic, they will get highly emotional, from like being 0 to 100. Like we go from nothing happening to being like bang, like and very emotional. Whereas women are emotional, but they express their emotions. They talk through their emotions. They're able to they're able to work through it, whereas men don't know how to deal with their emotions, and they just let it all out, like physically or like verbally, or
Get frustrated, angry.
yeah, they don't say, you know what, at this moment in time, I'm feeling that what you've said.
This is what I'm feeling.
This is what I'm feeling. It's more like, right, let's punch it out. Let's
we let it fester.
we let it fester. We let it accumulate. Like, yeah. So, and that was interesting when she said that, and I was like, and all I could see in my head was like, oh man, there's so many examples where I just started yelling for no reason because Emma put like the milk in the wrong way in the fridge. That's not the way you put the fridge in. That's not the way you put the milk in the fridge. Why do you do it that way? And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That's not a real example, by the way.
Yeah, it's not, but like just exaggerated. But it's just.
I was going to say, sensitive about his milk, isn't he?
It's weird, like, but it's not. It wasn't actually about the milk. It was like previous emotions that you build up during the day, and that the milk was the trigger point for some unknown reason, if that makes sense. And whereas women, because they talk a lot to women about how they feel, they're more. I don't know if this is true. This is what Mrs. Senator Wong said. So these are not my words, but yeah, I don't know. Do you agree with that? I mean, Emma's nodding because it's making her gender in a in a good light. But do you reckon men?
Yeah, I reckon women will be much better leaders than us. At least they'll think decisions through. Well, we'll act more on emotion.
I mean, they act on emotion, but they talk through their emotion. I guess is that the same?
Yeah,
is that a better way to?
I think so.
I think this is the same as like different races as it is different genders. Like you find all variations in both men and women, as you find all variations of people in both in all races. Like there are women who are as emotional as those men you're talking about, and there are men who are as emotionally intelligent as those women you're talking about. And I don't think the spread is any different. I just think that it all depends on, for example, the way you talked about you reacting like that. There'll be people in their lives who, the moments you come across them, have seen you as someone who's not like that. And actually, you've been quite sensible about the way you express your emotion, because in the moments they've interacted with you, that's how you've interacted. Like, you've controlled yourself in that way. But then in other people's stories, in their narratives, you're the character who explodes.
Yeah.
So I think our experiences with people aren't uniform. Like, we don't.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We don't all have the same interpretation. So that's where I don't think. I think women might be more inclined to be emotionally intelligent, but more because of the societal structure the position they're put in, than necessarily they're naturally more emotionally intelligent or anything like that. So if you then flip the societal structure, I think you'd find the exact same scenario.
Oh.
Do you guys ever wish you were a woman?
Sure. No. No way.
Big pardon?
Do you ever wish you were a woman?
No.
Why not?
Why do you ever think you?
Because I enjoy
wish you were a man?
I'm
good.
Occasionally.
The grass is not green on the other side.
I feel like it's easier for men, so that would be the only reason I would wish I was a man.
In what's easier societally, biologically?
Everything. Both.
We pee easier?
Both.
I don't wish you were a man. Ever. Not once have I ever wished that you were a man. Never.
Come on, not once.
Not once.
I think biologically, I would definitely rather be a man.
Yeah.
Societally, I'd rather be white.
Ooh.
So a white.
And I don't mean that in terms. I don't mean that in terms of I
man.
want to be a white person. I just mean in terms of I want to be treated as if I'm a white person.
What are you saying?
So, in Australia, we have duck crossings.
Oh, I can see it now.
We have duck crossings. We have
Probably everywhere around the world they've got animal crossings, right?
we've got animal crossings. I was going to say something specific to Australia. We got like possum crossings. Over the highway, we have the possum crossing that goes over.
Which I was like, what?
Right. So we that's where we place them, right? So there was this caller on a radio station in America that was complaining about the deer crossings. I'll let you hear it.
You got quite the vent today. It sounds like what's going on with you.
Well, I wanted to voice my opinion on something that's been bothering me for a really long time.
Okay.
I tried writing the newspaper and contacting TV stations, but nobody seems to want to stay with this. So that's why I'm calling you guys.
What's the issue?
Well, over the past few years, I've been involved in 3 separate car accidents involving deer.
Mm-hmm.
With the population and everything. Each of these incidents, they've occurred shortly after I saw a deer crossing sign on the highway. Well, my frustration is that Minnesota and North Dakota Departments of Transportation would allow these deer crossings to be in such high traffic areas. I mean, I've even seen them on the interstate. Why are we encouraging deer to cross at the interstate? I don't get it. That's such a high traffic area. I mean, I understand that deer are wild animals and they need to travel across the streets occasionally to survive and, of course, to find food. But it seems to me that so irresponsible of us to allow these deer crossings to be in areas where these deer are so likely to be struck by oncoming traffic. I mean, wouldn't you agree? I mean, it's just, I mean, you think they would put deer crossings maybe, in, smaller towns, maybe during at a school crossing. It would be a safer place for them to cross.
Wait.
Put the deer crossing sign.
Deer crossings aren't telling deer that it's safe to cross there. It's just more of like an alert for drivers so they know it's like a high deer population.
The government put the deer crossings there. They can direct the deer population anywhere they want to by moving that deer crossing sign. I mean, why in the world would they place it on the highway or the interstate? I mean, God, there are so many other places I can think of than putting the deer crossing signs on busy highways and interstates.
You seem to be under the misunderstanding that the deer are somehow attracted to the deer crossing sign.
Well, yeah, the deer crossing sign is there to allow the deer to know that's where they need to cross.
Right. And all these car accidents you had involved a deer after you'd saw a deer crossing sign.
Exactly. I mean, I'm trying to watch out for the deer, but I mean, speed limit's 55, 65. How am I supposed to, you can't brake really quick if if the deer just is crossing in that deer crossing area.
So you'd like to see these signs move somewhere safer?
I loved that.
That lady is the reason why inbreeding is illegal.
Oh, no.
Is she... Verdict. Do you think she's for real?
I asked that.
No, I think she's joking.
I asked that, but I'm not sure.
Actually, hearing the second time, it doesn't seem like it seems like it was a.
Really?
It seems like it was because
joke. Yeah.
She was committing to the joke. It seems like it, but the first time I heard it, I was like, she wanted the deer crossing to move.
She thinks that deer can read. Oh, this is our crossing. Come on,
Like
Bambi.
they move the sign, and then the next day the deer arrive, and they're like, they get to the highway, and they're like, oh, what happened?
We
to
weren't
the
told
crossing?
about this. Where is
going
it?
on?
Where?
And you just see deer like going along the side of the highway looking for the next deer crossing sign.
Oh man. Before I end this, I want to show one last video because I really enjoy these videos.
Mm-hmm.
Just one last one. Where is it? I want to show this last one. And this is, do you remember the Street Fighter?
Mm-hmm.
Street Fighter 1.
Yes.
And I've seen some epic Street Fighter fights.
Yeah.
But this has got to be one of the best Street Fighter fights I've ever seen. Have a look. Final round.
背負ってその期待に応えることはできるか。まずはこのミラーリングで波動拳を打ち消し合って目の前。
They're doing the exact same thing.
さあ綺麗に受け止める。
Oh, he's dominating.
Sweep him! Sweep him!
Sweep the leg!
Sweep the leg!
Look at that health bar.
Oh shit, look at that. Come back.
He has no health. How is he still alive?
I don't know. Oh shit!
Double KO.
No way.
Is that even a thing?
I've never seen that. I've never seen that.
I don't reckon that's real because the guy with no health bar was hit about 56 times and he didn't die.
Blocks, mate.
No, because he was in.
Blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I can't believe you think it's not real. What the hell? That's what you got out of it.
It's fake.
Anyways, that is another episode of the B-Side Word podcast, and we have got through it, guys.
Yep.
We've achieved like mediocre greatness, and hopefully we can do it again next week. I am Devin, signing off with Emma,
See ya.
CJ, and Alexander.
Peace.
All right, guys, have a good week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.